We have here Professor Mark Paulk from Institute of Software Engineering at Carnegie Mellon University. He has made significant contributions to improving the state of the art of software engineering. We have called him to share some of his thoughts about Scrum. So let's ask some questions.
Okay.
So what is Scrum?
Scrum is one of the agile methods. It's one that focuses on project management specifically.
What was the problem that needed to be solved?
The classical software engineering methods did not seem to address some of the issues with meeting customer expectations, meeting customer needs in an effective and efficient manner. And so we looked for additional methods and tools and techniques that would help us to do a better job.
And so what was the approach?
Well, the basic approach was, in looking at the more traditional methods where you tended to be very driven by documents like requirement specifications and design documents and things like that, to move to something that was more of a people-centered approach that leveraged the tacit knowledge that the engineering team had of the work and balanced some of the roles and responsibilities a little bit more effectively.
So there are a number of companies who are using Scrum and a lot more who are interested in Scrum. Why does it work?
I would say that it works because of the separation of concerns that it engenders. So, for example, in all of the agile methods, as well as Scrum, there is a balance between establishing business priorities and having the development team have the responsibility and the authority for doing the work. So the words empowerment and participation are words that are very meaningful in a Scrum kind of environment. And let me specifically point out that there was a company that won an award as the best software company to work for recently, called Ultimate Software, and they identified one of the things that contributed to their winning that award, the fact that they were using Scrum. So the agile methods tend to, at least in some cases, be very supportive of the engineering staff.
How big was Ultimate Software?
It's about 1,000 people, I believe, so it would be considered a medium-sized enterprise. You typically are going to have small to medium-sized projects, but those may be in medium to very large organizations like Nokia. The U.S. Department of Defense, for example, has some agile projects. There are many environments where you can use agile methods effectively.
Okay. So some companies have not been successful. So when does it not work? I mean,
well, there are several places where you can start having troubles, and in essence, they center around the areas where you're moving Scrum away from the areas where it was designed to operate. And this is true of all of the agile methods, that they're designed for relatively small teams. They're designed for an area where there are a lot of requirements changes. They are designed to help balance the customer and development team responsibilities and authority. And sometimes there's a culture clash when you start asking or empowering the development team to make decisions that perhaps more traditionally viewed as being management decisions or customer decisions, such as you will build this much, you will build it by this time, and it will cost this much, regardless of whether that had any relationship to reality. And that's, you can't control every single aspect of a software project in the agile environment. There is a division of responsibility. So there are cultural issues. There's issues with getting people with the right qualifications to work on the projects. There are issues in terms of distributed projects, virtual teams, and things like that, where people are applying the Scrum method and other agile methods in areas that are outside where they were originally designed to work because of the success that they have had and the sweet spot for where the agile methods were designed.
So having a clear understanding of when it works and when it not works, and what sort of ingredients are.
And even more than that, to know how to extend it and what to add and what to adapt as you start moving away from the area where these methods were designed is important to help you understand how far you can stretch it. Can you You know, a 7-person team is absolutely fine. What about a 20-person team? What about an 800-person team? There's one company, IDX, that has used Scrum on an 800-person project. That's not what it was ideally designed for, but they adapted it appropriately for that environment. And that's one of the things that we've continued to learn, is how to use Scrum and other agile methods in areas that differed from the original target space for the agile method. So distributed projects, virtual teams, very large projects, and things like that are areas where you're seeing the agile methods being adapted as time goes by.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mark. We appreciate it.